There is a star visible in tonight's sky that is in the final stage of its life. It has already started behaving strangely. When it finally explodes, the blast will be bright enough to cast shadows at night and visible in broad daylight. And it could happen before anyone alive today is dead. Betelgeuse is one of the most recognizable stars in the night sky, the reddish shoulder of the constellation Orion. But unlike most stars, Betelgeuse is close enough and massive enough that we can actually watch it dying in real time. In 2019, it dimmed so dramatically that astronomers around the world thought the end might be imminent. It wasn't, that time. But the event revealed something extraordinary about what this star is doing and what is coming. This is the story of Betelgeuse, how big it really is, what the explosion will look like, and the strange cosmic twist that means it might have already happened. Betelgeuse sits roughly 700 light-years from Earth, which sounds impossibly far, but is practically next door by galactic standards. It's one of the 10 brightest stars in the night sky, easily spotted as the reddish star at the upper left of Orion. That red color is the first clue to what it is. Betelgeuse is a red supergiant, a star that has exhausted the hydrogen in its core and swollen to a monstrous size as it burns through heavier elements. It's also variable, meaning its brightness fluctuates over weeks and months, something ancient astronomers noticed but couldn't explain. What they were seeing was a dying star, pulsing unevenly as it fights a losing battle against gravity. The size of Betelgeuse is where human intuition completely breaks down. It is approximately 700 times the diameter of our Sun. If you placed Betelgeuse at the center of our solar system, its surface would extend past the orbit of Jupiter. Everything inside that boundary, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, the asteroid belt, Jupiter, all of it would be swallowed inside the star. Our entire Sun is 1.4 million kilometers across. Betelgeuse is over 1 billion kilometers across. To cross it at the speed of a commercial aircraft would take roughly 1 to 200 years. This isn't a star. It's a world-eating sphere of plasma the size of a small planetary system. Betelgeuse is only about 8 to 8.5 million years old, which sounds ancient, but is extraordinarily young for a star. Our Sun is 4.6 billion years old and has roughly another 5 billion to go. Betelgeuse burned so hot and so fast that it's already nearly done. Right now it has burned through its hydrogen and helium and is fusing carbon, neon, oxygen, and silicon in nested shells around an iron core. This is the final stage. When a star begins fusing silicon, it has weeks to months left, not billions of years. We don't know exactly which fusion stage Betelgeuse is in right now, but on an astronomical timescale, the explosion is imminent. Somewhere between a few thousand and 100,000 years from now. That is essentially tonight. In October 2019, something strange began happening. Betelgeuse started dimming. Not a little, dramatically. By February 2020, it had lost nearly 40% of its apparent brightness, falling to its faintest level ever recorded. The astronomy community went into a quiet frenzy. Social media filled with the question, is this it? Is Betelgeuse about to explode? Telescopes across the world swung toward Orion. What they eventually found was surprising. Betelgeuse had violently ejected a massive cloud of gas and dust from its surface, a surface mass ejection far larger than anything the Sun produces. And that cloud had cooled into dust, temporarily blocking its light. The star had also developed a cold patch on its southern hemisphere. The explosion wasn't imminent, but the event revealed something important. Betelgeuse is convulsing. Its surface is violently churning in ways we've never observed at this scale. It is not a quiet, stable star. It is a star in distress. When Betelgeuse's iron core finally becomes too heavy to support itself, it will collapse in less than a second. The infalling outer layers will rebound off the incredibly dense core, generating a shock wave that tears the entire star apart. In that first second, Betelgeuse will release more energy than our Sun will emit over its entire 10 billion year lifetime. A flood of neutrinos, roughly 300 times 10 to the 58th of them, will stream outward at near light speed. About 3 hours later, the shockwave will reach the surface and the visible explosion will begin. For the next few weeks, the supernova will brighten until it rivals the full moon. Then, over the following months, it will slowly fade, leaving behind an expanding nebula and almost certainly a neutron star at its heart. Here is where it gets personal. When Betelgeuse explodes, anyone on Earth with a clear sky will witness something no human has seen since 1604, a new star bright enough to be seen in full daylight. At peak brightness, it will likely outshine the full moon, bright enough to cast shadows at night. Unlike the moon, it will appear as a point of light, a star, not a disk. It will be visible for days in daylight, and for months at night with the naked eye. The expanding gas cloud, the nebula, will be visible for decades through telescopes. As for safety, Betelgeuse poses no threat to Earth. At 700 light-years, its radiation is far too dilute to damage our atmosphere. The closest a supernova would need to be to cause serious harm is roughly 25 to 50 light-years. Betelgeuse is 14 times farther than that. Here is the strangest part of this story. Betelgeuse is 700 light-years away. That means the light we see from it tonight left the star in roughly the year 1324, when the Black Death was sweeping toward Europe, when the Aztec Empire was just getting started. We are not seeing Betelgeuse as it is now. We are seeing it as it was 7 centuries ago. If Betelgeuse exploded last year, we won't know for another 699 years. If it exploded in 1400 AD, the light is already on its way. The neutrinos from the explosion travel at nearly the speed of light and will arrive hours before the visible light does. This is why neutrino detectors, facilities buried deep underground in Japan, Italy, Canada, and elsewhere, are always running, always watching. They will be our first warning. The sky over Orion could change any night. The star you can see right now could already be gone. Betelgeuse is a reminder that the universe is not a static backdrop. It is dynamic, violent, and ongoing. And sometimes we get a front row seat. If this video changed how you look at that reddish star in Orion, subscribe and share it. We'll be exploring the next cosmic mystery very soon.